7-star Samurott raids are right around the corner, and we've taken a look at some crazy builds so far, but today let's take a look at a more mild build that has the chance to be much more consistent than some of the other ones we've looked at. So let's take a look at Clodsire today, and the ultimate build you can use to take on Samurott the Unrivaled. Now obviously the first thing you're going to need to do to make a Clodsire build is get yourself a Clodsire, and luckily for you, he's pretty easy to find on the map. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open your map, and you are going to want to come all the way down to this little corner of the map, South Province Area 5, and we're going to fly to this Pokemon Center right here, the South Province Area 5 Poke Center on the beach. Now, once you get here, first thing you're going to do is you're going to hop on your ride Pokemon. We're just going to climb up the side of the wall over here, make things easy on ourselves. And you are going to head straight for our little swampy area down here. And right over here where you see this Terra-type Flamigo encounter, you're going to come over this way, and we're just going to start making some laps, because in this area, you should be able to find a Clodsire in about 20 seconds or so. And there we go, just like that. It took me like 10 seconds, I found a Clodsire in a group of Paldean Whoopers, so we're just going to hop on into this guy, and we're going to catch him, and yeah, first thing we have to do is we got to catch him. Oh, look at that, crit capture, first throw. Oh, and just like that, you got yourself a Clodsire, and with that, we're ready for everybody's favorite part of this, leveling EVs and IVs. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, so now that you have yourself a Clodsire and he is the top Pokemon in your party, you're going to open your map and you're going to fly to your city of choice that has a Chansey supply in it, because we're going to need some vitamins. And as you guys know at this point, my favorite spot is Levincia North. And as soon as you find yourself in Levincia North, or whatever town you want to go to, the first thing we're going to do is make sure that our Clodsire is level 100. So we're going to go to our bag, we're going to go over to our other item slot, and we're going to use whatever materials we have at this point, rare candies or XP candies, to get our Clodsire from level 22 to level 100. Just like so. And he's going to want to learn some moves. We really don't care about these at this point, so you can just click B and say no to all of these. And there we go, now that your Clodsire is level 100, we're gonna hop on our ride Pokemon, head down to Chansey Supply, because it's time to spend some money. Alright, and now that we found ourselves inside of Chansey Supply, the first thing we're gonna do is hit the plus button to start ourselves a bulk buy, and we're gonna get ready to buy some vitamins. So, for our Clodsire build, we're gonna make sure that we have max EVs in our physical defense, so we're gonna need to buy ourselves 25 iron. And we're also going to make sure that we have max EVs in our special attack. So we're going to need to make sure that we buy ourselves 25 calcium as well. Now, with this, we're going to make sure that our Clodsire has a modest nature. So if you do not have a modest mint already, you're going to come down to the bottom here, buy yourself a modest mint, and then hit the plus button and fork over 520,000 Poké Dollars for the materials you need to make this build. And once you've got that done, let's get this guy put together. So now that we have everything ready to go for our Clodsire, let's start putting this guy together. So we're gonna hop into our bag, make sure our Clodsire is at the top of our party. We're gonna go to our other items, and we are gonna start with our Modest Mints. So we're gonna go down to our mints, we're gonna grab our Modest Mint, and we're gonna use it on our Clodsire. Just like so. Now that his stats have been modified by the mint's effect, we're gonna come back up to the top. We are gonna start off with our iron for our physical defense, and we're gonna give Clodsire 25 of these. Just like so. And after we've given him 25 iron, we're also gonna give him 25 calcium to boost up his special attack. So we're gonna give him 25 of these, and now it's time to use some feathers. So we're gonna come down, we're gonna grab a resist feather. We're gonna use 2 of these on our Clodsire. Just like so. And once we've used 2 of those, we're gonna come down and grab our Genius Feather for our special attack. We're gonna use that on our Clodsire, and we're gonna go ahead and use 2 of those as well. Just like that. Now, we have 4 EVs left to play with, so we're gonna go ahead and put those extra 4 EVs in the Clodsire's health, because as you know with these 7-star raids, you can never have too much health. Or in our case, we can put 6 in there. And there we go. Once you have that done, your Clodsire is fully EV trained, and he should look exactly like this. Clodsire, level 100. We're gonna go over, we look at his stats, max EVs in special attack and physical defense, and we should have just a tiny bit of EVs in his HP as well. Now, one last thing we want to check before we do IV training here is we want to make sure that Clodsire has the ability Water Absorb. Okay, which it should have by default, but if for some reason yours does not have the ability Water Absorb, go ahead and get that switched over because you are desperately going to need that ability for this raid. And with that, Clodzire's EVs are done, his ability's done, it's time to head to Mount Verna and IV train, so I'll see you guys there in a second. And once you find yourself up at Mount Verna, we're going to go behind the Pokemon Center to our shady friend back here, and we're going to do some hyper training. It's like so, we're going to give him our Clodsire to hyper train. We're going to give him some bottle caps for whatever reason. And then when we come in here, we can see that we only have one EV trained, or IV trained already in speed. So we're going to train our special defense, special attack, defense, and HP, and leave out our physical attack because our Clodsire is not a physical attacker. And we're going to start our training. We wait it out just like so. And there we go. Clodsire is hyper trained, IVs are ready to go, EVs are done, ability is done, and it's time to start thinking about moves for this Clodsire. But before we talk about Clodzire's moveset, let's talk about his held item. So we're going to go into our inventory, we're going to select Clodsire, we're going to change or give him held item depending on what you're doing. We're going to go to our other items tab, and we're going to come all the way up, and we're going to give Clodsire the Shell Bell to hold. Now if you don't know what the Shell Bell does by this point, it's very simply anytime that you do an attack and deal damage to your opponent, you regain some health. Very useful in Tera raids, especially going against 7 stars. But that's what Clodsire needs to have, the Shell Bell. Now, let's look at his moves. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to take a look at the moveset for Clodsire. So, this one's a doozy, so pay attention. So, Clodzire's moveset starts off with Acid Spray, which is a move that Clodsire learns via TM. So you're going to have to make sure you have the TM for Acid Spray for this one. After that, we have Ancient Power, which is an egg move. It is a move that Clodsire only learns via breeding. So you're going to need to make sure that it has a Mirror Herb and is in a picnic with a Pokemon that knows Ancient Power already. My preference, if you have Scarlet, is Koraidon. After that, we have Terra Blast, which is another move that Clodsire only learns via TM. So you're going to have a TM for this one as well. And finally, we have Haze, which is yet another move that Clodsire only learns via breeding. So you're going to have to make sure that Clodsire is yet again in a picnic with a Pokemon that knows Haze and an empty move slot. My preference for this one is Vaporeon. But that's your moveset for Clodsire, and with that, let's take a look at our build and talk about the strat for this one. But before we take a look at our Clodsire, we do have one last thing to take a look at here, and we do need to change the Tera type for Clodsire in order to make this as effective as possible. So, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to fly to Medali East. You're going to come over to the restaurant where we fought Larry, and we're going to go all the way back to our favorite chef back here. And we are going to change our Clodsire. And we're going to change our Clodsire to a rock Tera type. So we're going to grab some rock shards that hopefully you got from Blissey raids. We're going to use them on our Clodsire, and we're going to change him from a ground Tera type to a rock Tera type. There we go. Clodzire's Tera type is now rock, which means that our Tera Blast is going to be even more effective than it already was. Now, let's take a look at this guy. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, our Clodsire build is finally complete, so it should look something like this. Level 100, it should have a poison and ground typing with a rock Tera typing. The Shell Bell is its held item. Its moveset is Acid Spray, Ancient Power, Tera Blast, and Haze. It should have max EVs in special attack and defense, full IV training except physical attack, and adamant nature, and its ability should be Water Absorb. Now, the strat for this one is pretty simple. You're going to hop into a SAMUROTT raid, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hit SAMUROTT with 3 acid sprays to drop its special defense down to -6. After you've done that, you can spam Ancient Power to do some serious damage to SAMUROTT. And once you have the ability to Terastallize, you can use Tera Blast, or Terastallize and use Tera Blast to absolutely stomp SAMUROTT into the ground. And Haze is there in case we have some sort of gimmick where SAMUROTT uses Sword Stance or Bulk Up or something like that, so we can wipe his stat changes. And with that, you're good to go. So, get out there, make this build, and get ready to take on SAMUROTT the Unrivaled in just a couple days. And remember, you got this. I believe in you guys.